In the summer of 1944, German Panther crews in Normandy had good reason to believe that distance was their ally. Behind the Panther's sloped frontal armor sat a powerful 75mm KWK-42L/70 gun. One of the most formidable tank weapons of the war. From a concealed position, a Panther could engage American armor before many American crews could respond effectively. But that confidence began to change as American forces increasingly brought the 90mm gun into action. Mounted on vehicles such as the M36 tank destroyer, the American 90mm M3 was designed specifically to confront heavily armored German tanks. At long range, its velocity and armor-piercing ammunition gave American gunners a dangerous advantage. For a German commander looking through his periscope, the frightening realization was simple. The enemy did not necessarily need to close the distance. Somewhere beyond the familiar range of a tank battle, an American gun crew might already have the Panther in its sights. The Panther itself had been created from Germany's growing fear of Soviet armored warfare. Its combination of sloped armor, mobility, and high-velocity firepower made it a formidable opponent. But the tank came with serious weaknesses. Early Panthers suffered mechanical problems, and Germany struggled to manufacture and maintain them in sufficient numbers. By 1944, the Panther remained deadly. But it was no longer operating in the technological vacuum of earlier campaigns. American forces were developing their own answer. The 90mm M3 gun could fire armor-piercing ammunition at high velocity. And the M36 tank destroyer gave American units a platform capable of challenging German heavy armor at ranges where ordinary Sherman crews faced greater difficulty. In open French countryside, where visibility could stretch across fields and hedgerows, range became a weapon in itself. A Panther crew might see only a small American silhouette in the distance. Yet that silhouette could possess enough firepower to penetrate its armor. The psychological effect was enormous. Armor had always provided protection. But now protection depended increasingly on who detected whom first, who had the better firing position, and whose gun could deliver a lethal shot before the other vehicle could react. The contest was not simply a matter of one tank being better than another. It was a battle between entire systems. American forces could deploy large numbers of vehicles, maintain supply networks, coordinate artillery and infantry, and replace damaged equipment with a scale Germany increasingly struggled to match. German crews often possessed greater tactical experience and could exploit the Panther's excellent gun and frontal armor, but every destroyed Panther represented a serious loss of trained manpower and scarce industrial resources. Meanwhile, American tank destroyer doctrine evolved under battlefield pressure. The M36 was not intended to behave like a conventional tank. Its open turret and relatively light protection made it vulnerable. But its 90mm gun offered the reach commanders needed against German armor. At long distances, American crews could exploit terrain, camouflage, and observation to engage Panthers without immediately exposing themselves to the full strength of the German tank's own gun. The result was a dangerous reversal of expectations. The Panther's greatest advantage, its ability to kill at range, was no longer uniquely German. For Panther crews, that realization could arrive in an instant. A distant flash, a crack through the air, then the violent impact of a shell striking armor. At a mile or more, the enemy vehicle might appear almost insignificant through an optical sight. Yet the 90mm gun could turn that distant target into a burning wreck. German crews had to contend not only with the gun itself but with the uncertainty surrounding it. Was another American vehicle concealed nearby? Had artillery observers already identified their position? Were they being watched from a ridge, a church tower, or an aircraft overhead? Every stationary Panther became a potential target. Every movement could reveal its position. And while the Panther retained formidable capabilities, modern armored warfare was increasingly becoming a contest of detection, communication, logistics, and combined arms rather than a simple duel between two machines. The American 90mm did not make the Panther obsolete overnight. Nor did it guarantee victory in every engagement. What it demonstrated was more significant. German technological superiority could no longer be assumed simply because a Panther entered the battlefield. By the final stages of the war, the lesson had become larger than the confrontation between the Panther and the 90mm gun. Germany had produced some extraordinarily sophisticated weapons. But sophisticated weapons required fuel, spare parts, ammunition, factories, transport, trained crews, and time. The United States possessed the industrial capacity to turn engineering into battlefield mass. While American commanders increasingly learned how to combine that mass with intelligence, artillery, air power, and specialized anti-tank weapons, the Panther remained one of the most dangerous tanks of the Second World War. But its crews were discovering a new reality. Armor could no longer guarantee safety, and distance no longer guaranteed survival. Across the fields of Europe, the decisive question was becoming not simply who had the strongest tank, but who could see first, shoot first, sustain the fight, and replace what was lost. For the men sealed inside those steel machines, that distinction was not theoretical. It could be measured in seconds, and sometimes in the distance between a distant muzzle flash and the moment a shell struck home.